Welcome to the Emily the Mystic Show. You're about to walk through a portal that leads to all things mystical, magical, spiritual, and supernatural. I'm your host, Emily. I'm a spiritual mentor, an Akashic Records practitioner and teacher, an intuition development coach, and a galactic channeler. If you're an old soul on a self-discovery and healing journey, you are in the right place. We'll be diving in deep to some of my favorite mystical topics, including manifestation, past lives, the spirit world, energy, and so much more. Get ready to embrace your inner mystic and live your most authentic life possible. The portal is now open. Hello, my dear listener, and welcome to your November energy forecast with me, your host, Emily the Mystic. As always, I can't wait to take you into a deep dive of what to expect during the course of the month ahead. If you're new here, welcome. Every single month, I film an energy forecast just for you, my audience, about what to expect from the collective energy during the course of the month ahead. It's all channeled through the Akashic Records, so I really enjoy putting these together for you. And just find them a lot of fun and can help you if you know what to expect during the course of the month ahead from an energetic standpoint. You can kind of anticipate how you might be feeling and how that could affect your energy levels for your day-to-day projects and relationships and everything that you have going on. And as with all channeled information, of course, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. With this episode, too, you will have just heard my personal life updates from my time in Denver earlier this month in October. So I don't need to dive into what's going on in my life in too much detail here for you today. So you get to enjoy the pleasure of receiving what I'm here to share about the month of November. And I will just preface this by saying that if I'm being fully honest with you, as I like to be on this podcast, I had a lot of resistance with this energy update. I love doing these. They're one of my favorite episodes to film every single month. And also because November is such a loaded month, especially here where I live in the United States with the election coming up, it can mean that there feels like a large responsibility on my shoulders as a channel to make sure that I am delivering to you the best possible information that's going to be helpful, that's also going to help you with your discernment, and that's going to prove to be impactful in a way that will be supportive of your journey and what you're going through in your life. So I really hope that this episode proves to be that for you. I had to do a lot of clearing and energy shifting within myself to get ready for this. So as always, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Also put me in a little bit of a weird spot, a tricky spot with when to release this episode, because as you're listening to this, especially if you're a diehard Emily the Mystic podcast fan, you're probably listening to this on the day it's released, which is October 30th, or maybe on Halloween. Maybe you're listening to this the day after, or in the weekend after this gets released. So I had the choice. I could either release this energy update for November on October 30th, or I could wait to release it until November 6th because this podcast comes out on Wednesdays. I knew it would be doing you and I a disservice to release this on November 6th because, of course, that is the day after the election when we'll have the results most likely, and we'll have a better understanding and idea of the timeline that our country is taking over the next 4 years. So that will be really interesting. And so I wanted to make sure that this came out ahead of time. So with that in mind, I am filming and recording this on October 23rd. And as you will know, if you listen to my October energy update, things can change course very rapidly. I filmed the October energy update in mid-September. Things happened that I did not anticipate. Of course, the energy forecast was spot on, but it was not for the reasons that I was expecting. So knowing that
I am really great at predicting the energetic signature for the month and the overall vibe of the collective. I'm going to do my best to share that information with you without getting too caught up in the details and the specifics. I am by no means a predictor or forecaster of world events. That's just not typically my style of channeling. So I'm not going to be getting into details today. I am not going to be predicting who wins the election today. I am not going to be predicting specific events that could be happening during the month of November. However, the guides have given me some things to keep in mind that I think are going to be important for you that will help you prepare for what's to come during the course of this month ahead. It's going to be a month where we really need to expect the unexpected. I say that a lot during eclipse season. That same energetic signature is showing up here during the month of November. There are going to be a lot of things happening, and a lot of things happening that we could not anticipate or expect. Again, I don't want to get into the specific details, and also too, because when I'm channeling in the Akashic Records, time does not exist in the records. So they're showing me things that could potentially happen. And with that in mind, I don't know if that's actually going to happen in November or if that's actually going to happen in January or in the next couple of months. So what I'm trying to say here is that during the course of the first week of November, with the election taking place on November 5th, we are going to be exposed to some really challenging energies. So I would just want to say that to preface everything else that I'm about to share with you. Before I actually get into that, I want to leave a brief side note here that I also don't love delivering this podcast episode on October 30th when personally I'm going to want to be enjoying Halloween. I'm going to be so just like enjoying, the Halloween season. I don't love getting too quickly into a new month before the last one has passed. So with that in mind, I also want you to make sure that you are taking the time to enjoy the Halloween season if that's important to you, to do the things that bring you joy during this time of the year before the commercial world that we live in switches very quickly into the Christmas season and the stores start filling up with Christmas merchandise and holiday merchandise and all of these things. So really taking that time to enjoy Halloween and fall as much as you can. Personally, I am about to leave this weekend for a wedding in California on the West Coast, which is exciting. So I know it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be a little bit of a vacation. I am missing out on Halloween celebrations that would normally take place this weekend, however, so I am going to do my best when I get back the first weekend of November to still make time for those witchy things. So with that being said, just keep that in mind to do the things that bring you joy. Leading into the month of November, it's important. That's really what's peaking for me to tell you right now, is to enjoy Halloween season while we have it. Because when things switch, like literally November 4th, November 3rd, if I'm being more specific here, there's going to feel like an energetic shift, a change in the air. Things are going to start to feel more serious. You may have already noticed that this podcast energy update is a little bit more serious than the ones I typically do in the past. My June and July energy updates are like, oh my gosh, enjoy your life and have fun and slow down and enjoy the little things, right? November is a little bit more serious. So I'm just sharing that with you so that you can anticipate that. And know that things are going to start to feel a little bit more intense. Even if you're someone who doesn't really tune into the news or keep up with what's going on out there in the world, you tend to isolate yourself. Like, that's okay. I really try not to plug into it too much myself. You're still going to feel it. There are a couple of major astrological events that are happening on November 3rd. Specifically, there is a Mars Pluto opposition, and then there is a Venus Jupiter opposition. So we're going to feel a little bit of an intense energy. There's a very polarizing quality to the air that we are going to start to feel on November 3rd. And There is also a new moon in Scorpio that is happening on November 1st as well. So, like, we're going to feel, again, this change in the air, change in the tone. Scorpio is such a mysterious, deep sign. It is the sign of really going deep into the subconscious. It is the sign of having deep conversations with people. It's the sign of transformation. It's the sign of just researching and wanting to learn as much as you can about a topic and really going deep into depth about it and being really detail oriented. So there's a little bit of a serious quality to that. Scorpios can be really lighthearted people, but underneath it all, there's a level of depth. There is a mysteriousness there. This person has a lot of layers to them, sort of quality when you meet someone with major Scorpio placements. So we're going to feel a big change in the air starting the weekend before the first weekend of November. We're really going to feel it. It's going to feel a little spooky. It's going to feel, again, a little bit more serious, a little bit more like, okay, like we have to kind of really be grounded into reality and really just focused on our day-to-day lives, what we're working on, the things going on in our world. So it might feel a little jolting to the system. I want to say that. It might feel a little bit like we're kind of pulled out of maybe this sort of fun, mysterious, this fun sort of fall energy vibe that we've had. And we kind of get pulled back down to earth a little bit. So it's going to feel like that. So I'm sharing this with you again so that you can anticipate it. And then leading into the election on November 5th, the first week of November is probably going to be the most intense of the entire month. So knowing that, can you schedule some extra self-care for yourself? Can you make some extra time for rest? I feel like I'm going to have a hard time sleeping that week. I'm already sort of anticipating that. So with that in mind, can I scale back on my obligations? Can I limit my to-do list? Can I prioritize the things that are going to help me feel healthy and good and help my body move a lot of energy? Because there's going to be a lot of energy present during the course of that week. So there is that. There's also, I want to tell you not to get too caught up in what's going on the news and what's going on within the different political spheres of things that are happening. So getting into this for a little bit. By the way, I am not here to endorse a candidate. I am not going to be sharing political views here on this podcast. That is a choice that I am making due to the nature of the work that I do. Why? Because as a galactic channel, that work, being a galactic channel, being responsible for teaching people about star seeds, galactic beings, all of that, there comes with that some connotations that exist out there. I'm not saying that everybody who works with star seeds believes in some of those political connotations, because I certainly am not there. However, what I am saying is that I do not want, because of my beliefs, to get swept up in a political agenda based on what exists out there. I am not going there. I am not existing in that realm. I am both a human being and a spiritual being who is choosing to be aware and an observer of what's happening here on this planet, including the election, without being attached to the outcome or to truly either candidate. So I am here to tell you that, again, I am not here to endorse anyone, and I'm not going to be making predictions about what I think here. If that triggers you in and of itself, then that's something for you to do your own shadow work around. But what I am here to tell you is that we need to expect the unexpected, because this election is going to be strange. There is a lot of strange energy around it. But I am saying that there's a lot of weird, strange, and unanticipated energy around this election. Unanticipated, unlike anything ever before. I am telling you now that things are not going to go the way that they normally go. I am telling you now that it's not going to be just an easy decision one candidate's going to win. I truly know that there is something that is going to take place, whether that is in November and the days and weeks after the election, or in the upcoming months that's going to be unprecedented, that is going to totally change the trajectory of the way that we show up in terms of our government and governmental structures here in the United States. And that is going to be a big storyline that we are going to start to see playing out, especially in 2025. Again, I don't fully know what that's going to look like yet. No one knows what that's going to look like. But I do know that it's going to be different. And I do know that I'm not going to have any fear about it. And I do know that I am going to choose to stay in my lane, to focus on my mission, which is being of service to you and to other people who are choosing a spiritual path, who are choosing a path of high consciousness, who are choosing not to participate in a polarizing way in the war on consciousness by choosing to focus on yourself and your light and shining your light in your own unique community. That is what I am choosing. So, with that being said, I do want to share with you a couple of things to keep in mind if you happen to listen to this podcast episode ahead of the election. One thing the Akashic Record Keepers have told me, and again, use your discernment. You can choose to take this on as your truth or not. This is something energetically to keep in mind for those of you who I know are really beautiful stewards of your energy, is that when you participate in an election, which of course, as Americans, that's our right to vote, right? We've fought, especially as women, we've fought for our right to vote for a long time, right? So we're told and we're taught that it's a privilege to be able to vote. And of course, knowing what's going on in other countries, it is a right and a privilege. But with that in mind, knowing that from an energetic standpoint, what the record keepers have told me is that when you participate in an election, you are signing a contract with the candidate that you vote for. What I'm saying is that when you pick a side, you are declaring your loyalty. You are basically declaring a vow. You are signing an oath to that person that you are declaring your loyalty to. So that means that not only are you voting for them on paper, but you are creating an energetic contract with that person. That means that anything that they do, either publicly or behind the scenes. And trust me when I say we are not aware of everything that's happening behind the scenes because there are some ugly things going on in this world, that you are basically saying that you are loyal to that candidate with what they do on stage and behind the scenes. So bear that in mind, that you are creating an energetic contract with the person that you vote for. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. I don't think people realize how much of a big deal that is. And for some of you, you may feel really strong loyalty to a particular candidate. And so you're like, I know, I am signing up to do that. I am here to do that. I am here to be a supporter on their team. Like, sign me up, buy me a t-shirt with their name on it. So be very careful with what you choose and what you decide. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to do or who to choose or what to decide. But I do want to tell you to use your discernment, to be cautious, to do your research, to listen to trusted sources. And that doesn't mean to listen to your parents or your spouse, to really do this work in private in a way that focuses on you. If you use the Akashic Records, I would encourage you to go in and ask for their guidance on what your soul signed up to do in this lifetime. What is my role in this election? What am I here to create? And how is that impacting me at a soul level? And how can I shift my energy around that so I can be a fully sovereign being and show up in true sovereignty and true agency in this lifetime? Whew, I know that's heavy. I know that's a lot. I don't typically like to make these podcast episodes too intense, but I did want to share that message with you because that was coming through really strongly for me when I was tuning in ahead of this episode. So, and the other thing I will say too around that is that the contract that you make with the candidate that you choose expires at the end of 4 years. So 4 years is a long time, right? And that's a long time to be loyal to a person or a party. So choose wisely. Choose wisely. I will just say that. So anyway, on that note, things are going to be kind of crazy. They're going to be kind of wild. There's going to be all sorts of headlines and things. And there's going to be a lot of shifting in the political sphere as well as in the celebrity sphere. Of course, we've already seen a lot of things coming to light. And I think at the beginning of this year, I predicted in my 2024 video that there were going to be a lot of celebrities and situations and things coming to light during the course of this year. And of course, they have. So we're definitely going to be seeing more of that, more of the veils dropping, more awareness coming in about people and their positions and the way that they are showing up in what they're showing on TV and also what they're doing behind closed doors. So really keep that in mind. The way that I like to view all of this is with the energy and the frequency of detachment. I am not attached. I was attached, to be completely honest with you, 4 years ago to this. I was. And I remember at that time searching through all of the spiritual people that I was following at the time to see who they had voted for because I wanted to know what side they were taking. And this time around, I am here totally detached from the situation. Totally detached. Because of that and because of that frequency, it's really helping me see things from a bit of a higher perspective and a higher point of view and seeing how much politics creates polarization in this country and all over the world too, where there are other political systems where there are two parties or more than one party like this, where there is such strong loyalty. It creates separation. And I am not here to promote separation, and I am not here to promote creating more polarity here in this world than we need to have. So I am here to promote coming and viewing this, what's happening here, from a point of view of compassion for all sides, compassion for people here, especially in the United States, who are less fortunate than I am, who don't have the opportunities that I have. I feel very fortunate to have the resources available to me that I have, to have the privilege that I am available to have. And I know that not everyone has that choice. And I know that not everyone has the ability to be detached from the situation. But I also know that we are all souls on our own individual paths and timelines. With that being said, some of us are meant to be more involved than others. Some of us are literally meant to have governmental roles. We're meant to participate in different ways. Maybe we're meant to protest, or we're meant to be involved in different ways. I know for me, that was part of my path for a while, and I know that contract has expired. My contract to be involved in political activism has expired. It is done. That no longer needs to be a part of my journey. I paid my dues. I did my duty with that for years. I did go to protests. I will be fully honest with you. When I was in college, I was very active. I went to rallies. I did all of the things. And I am no longer interested in participating in any of that culture. Again, that might be triggering for you to hear, because you may be like, well, Emily, by you not choosing a side here today, you are doing your audience a disservice by encouraging them who to vote for. And that's not the point. I'm here to tell you that's not the point. The point is to allow yourself to use your discernment and to allow yourself to be detached emotionally, energetically, so that you can pursue your own path and be of service to our collective humanity in different ways. So anyway, I'm going to stop ranting about that. But what you do need to know this month is that things are going to get a little wacky. They're going to get a little weird. But if you choose to focus on your purpose and to focus on being of service to your community, in whatever way you choose to do that, whether it be through a spiritual business, through any kind of business, through your career, through serving your family, through serving your community, through volunteering, whatever way you choose to do that, really use this month to focus on being of service. But it doesn't need to be in the way that we're programmed to behave, especially here in the United States. And maybe you're not located here in the United States. Maybe you're located elsewhere in the world. You're still going to be feeling the ramifications and the energetic shifts that the United States is going through because it is such a polarizing place here on this planet. You're still going to be feeling the polarity that the United States is injecting into the collective energy, no matter where you live. Even if you're in Australia, even if you're in the United Kingdom, even if you are who knows where, you're still going to be feeling the effects of what the United States is going through this month because it tells a story that's going to impact the world at large as well. So take care of yourself. Focus on how you can be of service in your community, with your family, at home, with the people that you love. And let that be a way that you feel fulfilled in your mission, in you focusing on yourself, and you focusing on what you need to really feel like you are creating something that is going to be worthwhile for yourself and others, that's going to be of value and that's going to be of service. Know that we also have the 1111 portal coming up this month. So shifting gears for a moment, the 1111 portal is happening this year on a Monday. I believe that is also Veterans Day. It usually correlates. I don't know if there's an energetic, I don't know if there's a correlation to that. But what I will tell you is that what the guides have shared for 1111 this year is to make of it what you want to. There are a lot of us spiritual teachers out there who are, sharing that 1111 is all about manifestation because that's what we want to believe. And I'm here to tell you that it's so fun to believe in that because it gives you something to look forward to. It's like Christmas Day in the spiritual space, right? So I am all about making that a day to celebrate. But it's up to what you want to do. So make it a day for you. Maybe you actually want to take off work that day and schedule the massage for yourself and do something abundant that's going to make you feel good. Or maybe you can't take off work, but you want to go to perhaps an event like the one that I'm hosting, which is going to be happening in the Emily the Mystic membership on 11/11, where I will be doing some combination of live channeling and a manifestation group ritual. So maybe you want to attend an event, or maybe you want to spend the day connecting with your guides, meditating, doing your spiritual rituals, pulling cards, all of that good stuff. So you can absolutely do all of that, or you can do none of that. If you don't want to participate at all, that's cool too. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's cool too. The guides have shared with me that it is all about doing what you want to do this year. So make it a day. In my point of view, there's always a lot of heightened energy on that day, positive heightened energy. It can feel really good. I've had really cool things happen on 11/11 in the past. So I love it. I look forward to it. I look out for the signs from my guides, and it's a party. I love to have fun with it. So that's my point of view, but that doesn't need to be yours. So if you're into it, great. If you're not, that's cool too. But I would, of course, absolutely love to have you in the Emily the Mystic membership for that 11/11 celebration. I believe it's at 5 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a lot of fun and can be a really cool opportunity to focus on yourself, especially if you do have to work that day or have other responsibilities and things going on. All right, so let's pause all of that for now. And let's focus on, and one more thing that's coming forward they want me to remind you of. Also know that the energy this month is going to be a little bit weird, a little bit wonky, a little bit wacky because Mercury Retrograde unfortunately starts again at the end of November. Yes, indeed. It happens 4 times a year, sometimes 3, usually 4. So it's happening again the last time of 2024. I believe it will be done before Christmas itself, which is great, but it will impact the holiday season. And just taking a look at my calendar here. it will impact the holiday season and the Thanksgiving holiday for those of you in the United States who celebrate. So there may be, of course, as we head into Thanksgiving, it may mean that communications with your family members and loved ones get a little bit crazy, a little bit wonky. So be aware of that. Be really attuned to what you say. Be really clear with what you say. Be careful with being impulsive when speaking on a topic that you're passionate about, because you may end up saying something that you don't actually mean. And I'm not telling you to protect other people and not hurt their feelings. I'm telling you to protect yourself by being clear and specific with your words and your communication, and to be really deliberate with what you share with the world, especially when Mercury retrograde begins. The shadow period starts earlier in November, so we're going to feel a little bit of Mercury's influence throughout the whole month. Again, not my favorite message to deliver to you, but if you know to anticipate it, then you can have extra patience and you can give yourself extra grace if things go sideways, if your flight gets delayed, or if something weird happens, or if you thought you bought the ticket to this place and it turns out you didn't and it's sold out. All of those situations that can happen during your Mercury retrograde. Just have extra patience, give yourself extra grace, and give your loved ones extra grace as well to let them work things out. We don't need to protect our loved ones from the sad or heavy emotional experiences by them either making a mistake or not doing things perfectly in our point of view. Let them do their thing, and if they ask for your help, then give them your help. But you don't have to take responsibility for others at any time of the year, but especially Mercury retrograde. Your kids are a different story. But you know what I'm trying to say here with your spouse, with your partner, your boyfriend, your friends. Let them live their own path. Let them figure out what they need to figure out. And if they have bought the wrong ticket or they're experiencing a Mercury retrograde snafu, they've broken their phone, the cell service or the internet service goes down, to give them grace, to take a breath on their behalf, to give them patience as well, because we're all going through this together. So just know that it's going to be a little crazy this month. Sometimes we can thrive during the weird energy. I find that sometimes I get my best ideas and inspiration during weird times like this. So just know that too. It can be kind of cool and fun and unexpected to see what pops up. So with that being said, I would love to share with you a personalized message based on the color that you choose. So I've been doing these the last few months and people really enjoy them. So we're going to do it again today for November. So I am using a deck of cards. Because this is coming out the day before Halloween, I'm going to be using my Season of the Witch Samhain Oracle deck. Samhain also being another name for the sacred holiday that is Halloween. And with that being said, I'm going to give you 3 colors, and I'm going to invite you to use your intuition to pick the color that resonates the most with you, and that is going to be your message for this month. And you can always come back and re-listen to this and pick another color to get another message later on in the month if you want to do so. All right, so the 3 colors are red, black, orange. Red, black, orange. So pick your color. Red, black, orange. And for those of you who have selected red, your card is transformation. You have received the transformation card number 29. Keywords: alchemy, change. What is transformation but changing one thing into another? We are all after some alchemy, turning the lead of our lives into golden dreams and opportunities. A witch's specialty. She knows how to bend energy to her will and make something out of nothing at all. Alchemy, magic, manifestation. It all leads to the same things. Changing what was into what you want it to be. There is an endless supply of resources for how you might go about such a change. There is no right or wrong answer for the transformation you seek. When transformation finds itself in a reading, it is because you are on the cusp of a significant shift. The winds are rolling in, so you better get ready. Even if you aren't aware of it, you've set things in motion. Every thought, every prayer, every action and inaction is a seed of manifestation waiting to take root. You, my most beloved, are about to see this manifestation surface. Be prepared, as this may be swift and unpleasant like a tornado. This transformation will be especially unpleasant. Ignore that last sentence. Be prepared, as this may be swift and unpleasant like a tornado. Change is rarely easy. Sometimes change comes to us in ways we least expect, forcing us to make moves we wouldn't have done on our own. These might be destructive and chaotic, but the dust will settle and we will be left with a clean slate to fill with everything we truly want. So prepare for a transformative month. Prepare for things to shift. Prepare for that new beginning that you may be looking for. Prepare for a new course of action, a new timeline, a new point of view, a new awareness. Something is shifting in your life, and this is exciting. I feel good energy around this. I feel like it's needed, and I feel like it's something you've possibly been waiting for a long time. So I hope that this month proves to be full of beautiful, healthy transformation for you in many ways. Next, if you selected the card Black, we have the Veil. The Veil, card 41. Black. If you chose Black, your message, keywords, crossing and revealing truth, concealment. The veil is the very heart of Samhain. On this night, the veil between worlds is at its thinnest, and the spirit realm is as close as it's ever going to be here on Earth. That means you have a toll-free call to every spiritual helper, from the gods and goddesses to your ancestors, angels, ghosts, and you name it. Each year, you have a chance at receiving supercharged advice from those who know everything in the entire universe. The Veil card has come into your reading because new truths will soon be revealed in your situation. Things are being uncovered that were waiting for the conditions to be just right so that they can present themselves to you in the most effective way. Be sure to keep your mind open to receiving messages in unusual ways. Notice any reoccurring signs or symbols or even feelings. There is no coincidence for you at this time. Ooh, I love that message too. That to me is all about, number one, making time to connect with your guides, asking them for guidance. If you don't know how to do this, I have a workshop called the Spirit Guide Workshop. I will leave it linked below in the show notes. You can also get it as part of the Emily the Mystic membership if you are already a member or if you want to join. So that will teach you how to connect with your guides, and will leave you through a meditation to show you how I do this and how I teach my clients to do it. Also, I just feel like you're going to be getting new information that's going to change the course of things for you. Things, new awarenesses, insights, people maybe showing themselves to you for who they truly are. It's going to be very helpful to you in your situation because it's going to help you choose whatever you need to choose. So I feel like this is just a really great card. It's all about synchronicity. It's all about knowing you're supported by the universe. So I hope that is helpful. And finally, if you chose the color orange. You chose the color orange. Your card is number 22, the Healer. Here we are, the Healer card. Keywords, guide, facilitator. We all come into the human experience with the use of energy and intuition. Among us are those who are called to be healers. They are the wise ones who've made a conscious choice to devote themselves to guiding others on their paths. Healers can be found in all religious and all traditions, each with something beautiful and unique to contribute to the collective energy of the world. You may know them as shamans, medicine men and women, priestesses, wise ones, great ones, the list goes on. If you have pulled the card of Healer, know that you are being called to initiate yourself as one of the wise ones. You are meant to be a guide for those who are finding their way, and there are many ways you can do this. As a healer for your family and neighborhood, through building a community on social media offering wisdom, or through even starting a spiritual business of your own. It doesn't matter how you choose to heal. All that matters is that you do. If you have thought about becoming a healer, this card is a resounding yes. Some healing practices are crystal therapy, Reiki practitioner, tarot reader, psychic, doula, death doula, herbalist, and so on. You may have something you've practiced for years, or you may feel called to learn a new skill. Trust your intuition. You can become a facilitator of healing. Creating healing tools such as guided meditations, healing jewelry, candles, and even creating your oracle deck can provide others with a path to heal themselves. You create the path for others to walk. You are unique and have something to share with the world. So, my friend, that message really emphasizes what I was saying earlier in this podcast. It's a beautiful time to be of service to yourself and your community. It is a really great time to focus on honing your healing gifts, to use them to help others. Whether you are doing that in your family unit, giving your kids Reiki, your husband Reiki, and that sort of thing, or you're starting a spiritual business. I feel like this is also a good message for those of you who are already doing this to let go of the imposter syndrome. You are a healer. You came into this lifetime to be a healer. You have everything you need to do this work. So all you have to do is change your belief and let go of anywhere where you believe that you're not good enough or you're comparing yourself to other healers. It's time to let that go. And it's time to focus on being of service. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you are doing this from a place of trying to make more money or even from the intention of wanting financial freedom, and it's not coming from a place of service, it is going to be hard for you as a spiritual healer to make an impact. You have to first intentionally come into it from a point of view of service and helping others. I promise the abundance will follow, the financial freedom will follow, but it has to come through service first. So I hope that helps. And I hope that this overall energy update was informative and helpful and gave you some new perspectives on the shifting and changing energies. I'll have to do a check-in halfway through the month to kind of see where we're at, to keep sharing updates with you. So I hope you enjoyed my midway October check-in. I'll probably do the same thing during the month of November as well. So thanks for listening to this episode. Again, use your discernment. This is what I've shared with you today is very much what I felt called to share with you. And again, I do this, create this podcast for you. It's free content. So you get to listen to it. You get to, it's information that you get to choose what to do with. Again, I am doing this of service from a place and a point of view to help you. And this content is free, right? So please do not come into my inbox, coming at me or trying to fight me on this or trying to change my mind. I'm not interested. I'm really not interested. I want you to focus on your life. I want you to focus on what's going on in your world. I want you to focus on you working with a collective energy in a way that is helpful and good for you. And I want you to really just know, and with anybody that you follow, we're all, as spiritual practitioners, we're all doing our best. We're here providing hours of free content for you to enjoy. So also, please don't come into our inboxes complaining about pricing or the fact that we don't do enough work for you for free. I'm really tired of hearing that. And I appreciate you and I appreciate your perspective and sharing your thoughts with me and your feedback. But also, there are so many resources that I and others share with you for free. The least you can do is be grateful for it. Not just with me, but I'm also speaking on behalf of other healers that we do a lot of work for the service of the collective. And to be appreciative and have gratitude for that, even if you don't always agree with what each person is saying. The last thing we need is more separation, more polarization, more antagonism amongst groups. Let's be supportive of each other. Let's lift each other up. Let's be in a space, in a place of energy where we are operating from the point of view of service and here to help others in this crazy world that we live in. So that's my TED Talk for the day. Thank you for listening. I love you. I'm so grateful for you. Make sure to rate the show wherever you listen to your podcast in order to get a free month of the Emily the Mystic membership. Instructions will be below in the show notes. And I'm here for you. So links to work with me will be below, as well as to join the membership for my 11/11 event. So I hope to see you there. Enjoy the month. Expect the unexpected. Prepare to get wild, weird, and wacky, and for all the clown cars to come out, and we'll see what happens. Bye for now.